Wall Street ringing the opening bell just a little while ago, kicking off another day of trading. And here's where things stand on the markets on this Thursday morning. Trump's economy has seemingly performed below stellar with uncertainty from his tariff war. There's some good news at this hour, though. The latest GDP report showing that the U.S. economy expanded at 3.8%, surpassing the forecast growth of 3.3%. Fewer Americans, however, filed for unemployment last week. NewsNation's Alicia Nieves joining us in New York with more details. Good morning, Alicia.
Yeah, good morning, Marni. The stock market just opening a few moments ago, and as you showed there a moment ago, looking to open, or it has opened to the downside here. A lot of that is mostly on some really elevated valuations for stocks and companies, and some investors concerned that it's maybe too elevated amid some of the mixed data that we're starting to see, not only this morning, but over the last couple of weeks here. Some of that data this morning that you pointed out a second ago, you're talking about 3.8% increase for Q2 GDP. That's a 0.5% higher than the expectation, and 0.5% higher than we saw in the second time that we got that estimate. So it's showing the economy still growing, at least when it came to April to June. It's able to withstand the president's economic agenda, most notably the tariff impacts. That, of course, good news. Why the pullback? Why the concern in the market? Because the big question is whether this continues. Currently, we are in Q3, and that GDP print, at least the first estimate, doesn't get released until the end of October, October 30th. And you have investors, economists, and CEOs who are seeing stuff in real time, particularly CEOs, and they're worried that this leads to an economic slowdown, what they're actually seeing right now, because we have more sustained tariffs in place for now about a half a year. So much so, we're seeing some projections come out. You got Yale Budget Labs estimating that tariffs going to result in a 0.5% decline in U.S. GDP this year, also projecting the same for next year, while seeing unemployment rise. About 0.3% is the projection this year. That's in line with some of the labor reports and jobs reports we've seen over the last couple of months. But then when you look to next year, the projection is 0.7% increase in unemployment. This economic condition that, we're currently seeing, the forecast that we're seeing, from companies like Yale Budget Labs here, it's really making it difficult for businesses to expand. So we're seeing some start to pull back on growth plans, others starting to shrink their footprint. Just out in the last hour, we saw Starbucks make this announcement, closing more than 400 stores by the end of the month, laying off at least 1,000 corporate and store employees. Now, we did speak to at least one company that says it's moving forward with some of its growth plans, but doing so at pretty significant risk. Take a listen.
And we're making major capital investments in our company right now. And we had planned this prior to Trump, but we're getting set back because we're getting hurt on all our other business sides with the economy. So we're trying to still put all this money into the business while we're not making it. And so it's pulling out of savings and cash that we have. So it's putting us in a worse position than we were prior.
Yeah, that is the CEO of a steel company, Northwestern Holding, and he said, quote, that it's scary how low demand has been over the last 8 months. He is the only manufacturer for a specific kind of U-channel fence post in the United States, and he's saying he's still finding it hard to compete now, not necessarily with foreign manufacturers, thanks to Trump's tariffs, but with the economic conditions that he is currently feeling and other businesses are feeling, but maybe has not filtered in to the economic data just yet, Marni.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.